Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us at today's program featuring Tierra del Sol Studios and artist Jackie Marsh, presented as part of the Wignall Museum's Home Edition, a series of curated artist talks, workshops, and discussions featuring artists and cultural workers. My name is Rebecca Trawick. I'm the director and curator of the Wignall Museum. The Wignall Museum is a teaching museum and interdisciplinary art space that introduces Chaffey College students, faculty, staff, and community members to innovative contemporary art objects and ideas. By fostering critical thinking, visual literacy, discourse, and empathy, the museum seeks to enhance the intellectual and cultural life of our community. We want to take a moment to recognize that we are situated on the Rancho Cucamonga campus of Chaffey College, which resides on the traditional and unceded lands of the Tongva people. We offer our recognition and respect to the elders, both past, present, and future.
And hello, my name is Roman Stollenwerk. I'm assistant curator at the Wignall Museum of Contemporary Art. We'd like to remind you to please visit us at www.chaffey.edu/Wignall to access our full schedule of programs and recordings of past programs. You can also subscribe to our email announcement list on our website at www.chaffey.edu/Wignall about us.php. All sessions of Home Edition will be recorded. When possible, recordings will be made available on our website. An announcement will post our email subscribers and social media when new videos are available. All recordings of Home Edition will include captions and audio descriptions as options. After the program, we ask that you complete a brief survey. Thank you.
And hi, everyone. My name is Andy Hadel. I'm the preparator at the museum and the studio tech in the studio arts department. Along with Rebecca and Roman, I'll assist in today's Zoom session. Briefly, I'll share a breakdown of today's program. In a moment, Tierra del Sol will present for about a half an hour. The remaining time will be available for Q&A. Please write your questions for the artists or presenters using the chat function. We will try to ensure that as many questions as possible can be answered after the presentation as time allows. Thank you.
Thanks. So I have the great honor of introducing our special presenter guest today, Jackie Marsh. Jackie has worked as a studio assistant at the Progressive Art Studios of Tierra del Sol since 2009. Marsh produces whimsical depictions of animals and flowers in painting, drawing, and ceramics. In both her 2- and 3-dimensional work, gestural mark making is combined with a vibrant and loosely applied color palette to define her delightfully exuberant style. In addition to being a studio artist, Marsh also teaches art classes at Upland Art Studios, the Jocelyn Center, Senior Center, and other venues. Her work has been exhibited at such venues as the Chan Gallery, Pomona College, Claremont, California Baptist University, Riverside, California, Claremont Graduate University, Claremont, California, and Zask Gallery, Palos Verdes, California. When she's not developing her art career, you can find Marsh at work providing compassionate care to the animals of local animal shelters. So please join me in welcoming Jackie Marsh and Tierra del Sol today. Thank you.
So I think I'll jump in and start the introductions of the team from Tierra. You've heard about Jackie. She'll introduce herself in a moment. My name is Rebecca Ham, and I'm the Director of Arts for Tierra del Sol. I've worked with Tierra for 31 years, and I've had the great pleasure of having so many artists connected with us and develop our inclusive studio program, and then also work through the wonderful gallery, Tierra del Sol Gallery, that you're going to hear a lot about a little later in the presentation. So I am in the visual screen. I'm a white woman with bangs and long hair, and I'm in a room with white walls and a curtain behind me. And my pronouns are she and her. And I'm handing it over now to Lauren Romero.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Romero. I am the program director for Upland Art Studios. I've worked with Tierra for 14 years. My pronouns are she and her. I am sitting at my desk with my kitchen behind me. I have thick framed glasses and my hair is tied back in the bun.
My name is Paige Weary. I am the gallery director and curator for the Tierra del Sol Gallery. I am a white woman with long, shaggy brown hair, and I am wearing reading glasses.
Hi, I'm Pete. I'm the gallery manager here at Tierra del Sol Gallery. I'm a Latino man with short, dark brown hair and happy to be here.
My name is Laura Wild. My personal pronouns are she and her. I have blonde hair. It's in a ponytail and blue eyes. And I've been with Tierra for about 4 years. I teach painting and ceramics.
My name is Jackie March. My pronouns are she. I have brown hair with blonde highlights. I have blue eyes. I am wearing a turquoise sweatshirt. I am an artist with Tierra del Sol. I've been with them about 12 years.
That's wonderful. Well, we're going to kind of zip through our presentation. Again, I just want to welcome everybody. I wanted to start by letting everyone know that we are here for the Tierra del Sol Foundation. And what you're seeing here is a picture of from our website. This represents the Tierra del Sol Foundation that's been in place for actually 50 years. This is our 50th anniversary. Ah, there we go. And we've had the opportunity to work with hundreds of artists as well as all kinds of people who are on their career paths. Our organization started by a small handful of families who were very dissatisfied with what was out there for their sons and daughters. So they created their own opportunities, and it became Tierra. So the studio program really began in earnest in 1989 when we opened the First Street Gallery in Claremont. And then in 2018, we moved the entire operations over to Upland. And now we're at the Upland Art Studios, which is a few miles from Chaffee. At the same time, our Sunland campus was developing the arts program, and we have Sunland Studio Arts there. And in 2019, we started the Tierra del Sol Gallery. It was launched with Paige Weary as director, and you're going to hear a lot more about that in a few minutes. So it's a picture of our gallery, beautiful door on the right, and a shot from one of the shows with Jonathan Jackson posing. So back to our Tierra programs, we literally have 3 areas that we support people to pursue their career goals because they might not otherwise have these opportunities. So just like anyone who is in pursuit of what is my life going to be, what is my dream job, we have a program called Workforce Development that allows people to explore and find what opportunities are out there. And then we support them with the skill building for their chosen goals. We also have College to Career, where we're helping people on that education path if they have that to get them to their final dream job. And then, of course, careers in the arts. And that's what we're focusing on today, helping folks with all the steps needed to get to a professional career in whatever aspect of arts makes the most sense for them. In the arts programs, we have all kinds of things we're inventing all the time. And just like what you all have seen happen in our lives this year, we've gone remote. We've developed innovative services to get the arts out and about, not just in one location, because we can't go to those locations very readily right now. And we're continuing this inventive process that has been there for 50 years. We've always invented ways to make arts happen. But the way that happens is we work with artists who show us the path. So Victor Frias in the middle loves to draw portraiture. And now he does a small business where he can actually invite people to come and get their portraits drawn, etc., like that. This is a peek into the studios. We have 2 inclusive studios, and the term inclusive at this point, we're thinking that this is a way of saying that we have opportunities for everyone. There's no limitations if you're willing to come and explore your arts. So with these 2 studios, one in Upland and one in Sunland, we've had hundreds of artists come through. And my experience has been, literally 31 years ago, I was invited to come in as a guest artist and work with some of the artists. There were only 8 artists at that time. And we explored some ideas for creative expression. And I was able to stay on as an art mentor and art instructor. And then we had a gallery developed. So I helped direct the gallery years ago. And then it grew and grew. And I became a director of the program. And now I direct both program studios as director of arts. But the idea of where we have built our programs has been very much the same from the beginning. It's always been about artists and art. And if we get guest artists in, we do exploratory projects. We have a beautiful gallery to market and sell the work and to show the world how fabulous the artists are, and have invention and new creative opportunities happen for everybody all the time. So keeping up with all the artists is what our job is. It's a lot of energetic action to keep up with everybody's creative expression. These are some images to show that we have artists who are working in ceramics. We have a lovely artist who also has developed our weaving program from scratch. We also have artists who get together and go to shows as well as exhibit everywhere. And on the left, you'll see one of our artists who loves to draw and has been compiling small books. We also do poetry. We've had music performance. The gamut of personal self-expression is what we offer opportunities for. So I'm going to quickly go over just the 3 areas for our artists. And first of all, we have artists who pursue their professional goals as exhibiting artists by making work and creating their portfolios. Shows that artist educators is also part of our program. You see pictures of Jackie here. She, on the left, is teaching a ceramics class at the local senior center. And on the right, she's part of the zine workshops that she's done many of. The third area that we help artists pursue is the idea of what can happen as a self-employed artist. Can they become a curator? Can they go into arts management? Can they think more about making money off of commissions or small businesses? And so you see here artist Joe Zaldivar on the left, delivering a commission piece he created for a small business in our community. And on the right, again, you see Victor sitting there with his kiosk for self-portrait drawing. I put a little shout out in this slide to say that we do offer employment opportunities for folks who are interested in joining our team and becoming a mentor with our art studios or a direct service professional in some of our other programs. So you can always connect with us and find out more about those opportunities. I want to now invite you to meet Paige Weary. She'll take over in a minute, but I did want to say that as director and curator of the Tierra del Sol Gallery, she's brought just wonderful things, along with Pete, who's here, the gallery manager. They both have brought wonderful things for our artists and no end to the opportunities locally and globally. But Paige comes to us with a lot of professional experience, very successful as an artist herself by showing and making her own work and showing, and then moving on to being an editor of Artillery magazine, very exciting magazine, and also running the Good Luck Gallery in Chinatown for many years. And that's how we got to know Paige. She now joined us as Tierra del Sol's director and curator of the gallery. And it's so exciting to see the potential. It just, even after 31 years for me, it feels like we're just starting again and we're going into so many new directions. Beautiful team. Thank you all. So now I'm going to turn it over to Paige, and here she is.
Thank you, Rebecca. We don't really talk about my art making because it's embarrassing, but that's okay. This cat's out of the bag now. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And like I said earlier, I am the gallery director and curator at this new location for Tierra del Sol. We've just been here for about 1.5 years. And before that, the gallery was located out in Claremont, like Rebecca said. We are in Chinatown in Los Angeles. That's the front of our adorable little building. And we are here because there are other galleries on the street. So we are part of Los Angeles contemporary art scene. Back before COVID, there would be, 5 or 6 art openings. We would try and coordinate them. And it was an amazing introduction to the underrepresented artists, which are part of Tierra del Sol. And so this is a way to bring them into Los Angeles and get more attention. And this location is a big part of that. So our very first show that we did in 2019 was Evan Hines. And this is Evan doing an art talk. Evan loves to talk about the stories behind each piece. And so he came in and selected individual, like his favorite, maybe 5 or 6 pieces. And then he told the stories behind all of those in front of a live audience. It was super cool. This is one of Evan's pieces, just so you can see one up close and the detail that goes into his work. But I wanted to talk about the fact that I generally do solo shows because a lot of time the artists that we are showing, a lot of people in the Los Angeles contemporary art world haven't heard their name yet. And so I select solo shows because I want to show the depth and the talent of these artists. So if you walk into a group show and you've never heard of an artist and there's just one piece, you might not fully understand the depth of their creations. And so that is something that I lean towards, which is doing solo shows for our artists. Let me also say that I'm just showing you just a couple of the artists that we work with at the gallery. We are going to go on and celebrate Jackie's show in just a little bit, but I wanted to show some of the other artists that we work with. So this is Hugo Rocha, who has been with our program for 14 years. And he is standing in front of one of the walls of his solo show, admiring his own work. This is one of his close-up pieces, so you can see his work up close. And Hugo is inspired a lot by telenovelas, the Mexican soap operas, and he does screenshots of those or asks somebody in the studio to take a screenshot of those. And then this is his interpretation. He does his own interpretation, which are amazing, color blocked out, kind of psychedelic pieces. This is Mary Lou Dimsdale in the middle. That's Rebecca on the right, and Mariah, who runs the Sunland Studios, on the left of this picture. This is at Mary Lou Dimsdale's solo show. And again, this was Mary Lou's first solo show. It was the first time she had seen this many pieces of her work all framed and put up on a wall. She showed up late to her own opening and walked in like a rock star that she is, with her fur jacket on. This is one of Mary Lou's pieces, and something that I love about working with the artists from Tierra is because nobody, or actually some people have gone to a little bit of school. I think Evan went to a little bit of school, but most of the artists, somebody like Mary Lou didn't join our program until she was in her 60s. And so nobody had ever told her what was right or what was wrong for art. And she's coming up with these amazing, she found her voice without anybody telling her what was right or what was wrong, no teachers giving her art history lessons or anything like that. And she, along with all the other artists at Tierra, I'm always amazed at how singular their voice is. And that's one of the reasons why I got involved in the non-trained art world. This is John Mall at his opening. This is a picture of all of his family that showed up to support him. And again, this was a time where his family had never seen this many pieces of John's work up on the wall and framed in a gallery setting. There were openings up and down on the street. And so it was an amazement to his family to see all of his work up on the wall. And really you are able to grasp the talent. And so when it's your family member, it was a really emotional evening for everybody because they had just never seen his work and displayed like this. And it was a highly successful show, as most of our shows have been, actually. They've all been doing quite well. John is, the artist, is in the middle with the white outfit on, holding the flowers. This is one of John Mall's pieces. You can see that he does layers of different colors, and that's his signature up at the top. And then he has some text that are very mysterious to us that he repeats throughout his work. But again, John's work is absolutely beautiful and has movement to it that I had never seen before. So this is Tierra del Sol going to the art fairs, which is a very important outreach for our artists. We meet new collectors, we get in front of other curators, and we also sell the work. So all of the work that we show in the gallery and at the fair is for sale. All sales go directly to the artists as well as supporting the program overall. So the money is divided between the artists and the Tierra del Sol Arts Program. I did a screenshot of our social media because I want to promote our social media. This is another huge outreach for us as well as all other galleries right now during COVID. And then we also have our own website, Tierra del Sol Gallery, that you can go and see all the works by the artists there as well. We also, as a gallery, as a professional contemporary art gallery, we write press releases and we send it out to everybody that we know that's in the press. Because of my background, we happen to have an extra long list, which is excellent. And this is just showing a fraction of what Helen Ray, one of our artists, she's been on covers of magazines. She's been selected as an up and coming artist, even though she was in her 80s when she was selected for that. She, and she's just one of the artists that gets press, but this is just a little slide to show off some of the press we've gotten. And now we are going to talk about Jackie Marsh's solo show, which is here. I'm in the gallery right now. And I think that the next thing is that we're going to show the video, which is a video walkthrough, and it's me telling you about the works.
Hello. Welcome to another Tierra del Sol Gallery walkthrough. Happy New Year. We are starting 2021 off with this beautiful, inspiring solo show by Jackie Marsh. We have both drawings and ceramics. Most of the 2D work is colored pencil, pen, graphite, and some of them have a little bit of paint. I love this one. Look at the little butterflies. And the little happy smiley sun. So gorgeous. This show we really focused on her drawings of flowers. Jackie has been with the Tierra del Sol program for 12 years. She's from Glendora, California, born and raised, and still lives there. Look at the way that she breaks up the space on this. Absolutely beautiful. A real passion for what she's doing. You can see the intensity of the pressure of the colored pencils. And the more you look at this work, you start to see her decisions and how confident she is in these choices that she's making, and then it comes together so beautifully. And here's a beautiful psychedelic flower piece. This one has a combination of all the things that I said. I can see paint, I can see pens, watercolor and acrylic paint, colored pencil, another kind of psychedelic one. She left the background plain on this one. That's just paper. She didn't fill in every single bit for a beautiful effect. Here is a still life. Sometimes the more you look, you start to see little animals within her flower pieces. Jackie has been making work since she was a child. When Jackie isn't working on her art, and she is extremely prolific and very dedicated to her drawings and paintings and ceramics. She volunteers at animal shelters. She also has her own chickens and dogs and cats. Little strawberry there. We can look at that one forever. It's gorgeous. Jackie also is one of the artists at the Tierra del Sol program that likes to teach classes too. So she's taught a bunch of classes to the public, and Tierra del Sol teams up with museums and they teach classes there. And then she also does zine classes. let's take a look at her fabulous ceramics. I have a real love for small bowls, which is what these are. And I'm just gonna pick one up. I shouldn't touch the art, but I can. But look at all the layers that go into something like this. Here's two little bunny heads. You can see some red dots already. People have been coming in and buying. More bowls. This lovely little vase. And then we have a whole little family of piggies, which I'll show you the inside of that. See the little tail. We also have some real miniature bowls that I think are gorgeous too. There's a lot of animals that are part bowl, part animal, part vessel. We asked her if she wanted these bowls to be used for anything particular or are they art, and she does not care. She likes to find out what the collector uses her bowls for. Is it a piece of fine art or is it something that becomes functional? She is comfortable with both things. This little guy. And that is the Jackie Marsh Show. Congratulations to Jackie. And thank you guys for listening. Hope you're having a good first year. I know it's pretty rough out there for some people. Stay safe, stay positive. Come visit us. The show is open by appointment only. You can make an appointment on our website at tierradelssolgallery.org.
Okay, Jackie, what would you like to tell people about the ceramic bunny, Jackie?
I was inspired by a picture of a bunny rabbit. I like animals and have fun creating them. I enjoy lots of color.
What would you like to tell people about the flower painting?
I have a reference folder that I keep images in. The images give me ideas for color and texture. I use my intuition and what feels right to me. I drew this painting with pencil and then experiment with watercolor and acrylic paint.
Very pretty. There's so many animals in your work. Can you tell us about the animals that you have and their names?
For many years, I volunteered at a pet store. I helped care for the animals. I met my dog Winston as a puppy there and bought him. I also have a cat named Molly, and I adopted her from PetSmart. And I have pet chickens in the backyard that give me eggs. Lucy, Ethel, Dottie.
What do you like about your animals?
I like taking care of my animals. I enjoy talking to them. And they are good friends. I spend time with my chickens in the backyard while I water my flower garden. I like watching the hummingbirds and butterflies, and the color inspires my work.
We know you're a great teacher too.
I teach a zine workshop and some other classes too.
What would you tell someone who wants to make their own artwork but doesn't know where to start?
I would tell them to get a paintbrush and a palette and to have fun.
How do you encourage them?
I wait for them to ask questions, and then I try to encourage them and give them my advice.
How is it making work at home?
I have my own art room, which I enjoy. I like taking classes on Zoom. My favorites are gardening, drawing, painting, and juggling for fun.
Okay, that takes care of the questions. I guess that's we open up to questions from our audience.
Thank you. That was amazing. I love seeing your work in the gallery format. That was really beautiful, Jackie. Congratulations. How did it feel to see your work in the gallery? You know, to see so much work framed and installed and you know, put together in that manner. How did that feel?
It felt great.
Because it's open by appointment only, were you able to, I assume there was no public reception. Is that true? Maybe Pete.
Yeah,
you could-
there was no public reception.
No opening, but we've had a steady stream of people coming to see the show just about every Friday, Saturday, Thursday. There's not a moment where we haven't gotten one person at least each day coming in.
Well, I love to hear about your love of animals and how you tend to your garden. So clearly you're getting inspiration from your own animals, from animals, you know, in general. But I love the fact that you're spending time in your yard, you're tending to your chickens and your critters and your garden. So clearly you're getting a lot of inspiration in your own backyard. Where else do you get inspiration, Jackie?
I get inspiration from images that I have collected as well.
And I can just jump in a little bit and say that Jackie calls me in the mornings, and it's usually after she's taken care of her animals, and she does take them for walks around the neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has a carriage. It's very awesome.
Jackie, you have such a wide variety of materials that you use, paint and colored pencils and ceramics. Is there any other mediums that you can't wait to try out, or you want to try in the future?
There isn't any other mediums that right now that I would like to try out.
Jackie, how do you feel that you know that some of your pieces have been bought and they're going to go to the homes of other people? How do you feel about that?
I felt really good about that.
Do you think that you'll miss them, or are you happy that they've gone off somewhere else?
No, I'm happy that that somebody else is going to enjoy them.
I bought one of your little ceramics, so it's good to hear that.
So Jackie, we know you teach zine workshops. What other kinds of classes do you teach, and what do you like to teach the best?
Can I just say that Jackie's taught a lot of classes, so it's hard to kind of nail them all down. But you did a color theory class, right?
I like doing the color theory class.
I can see how you would be excellent at color theory. You clearly have a really wonderful command of color. There's actually a question from Yamisi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. They say, hello, everyone. Thank you for this tour and discussion. Thank you for making such colorful work. I like your color palette. Are there any favorite colors?
The pinks and blues and greens and what I don't remember what other colors.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them. There we go.
It was mentioned that you're very prolific and that you're always working. How often are you drawing? Are you daily or do you have a schedule that you keep, or does it just kind of happen naturally?
It just happens naturally.
And on that note, Jackie, again, we know that you love flowers and animals, but how do you decide, what's your process like? How do you decide what you're going to draw or paint or create on a given day? You mentioned intuition, so perhaps, that's what guides you. But I always think it's interesting to hear how artists decide what they're going to dive into on a given day.
Can I say that Jackie, generally she would come in, when we were in the gallery setting, she would do ceramics part-time and painting the other part of the time. And then now that we've been home, she's been a lot more fluid and versatile between both of those things. Would you agree, Jackie?
I agree.
Nice. Do you miss going to the studio every day and being with everyone at TDS?
A little bit.
She's very active on the Zoom classes and very present, so she sees a lot, right?
Mhm.
Okay, here's a question from Letty Romo. I have a young artist in my house and she's just starting, but is afraid of failing. Do you have any words that you would share with a young artist?
Well, I would just tell her to do whatever she likes to do and just go with it, and just use paint brushes and palettes and color.
Just dive in, right? Keep doing
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's good advice for anybody, any age, I think, actually.
I'm Patty Hines, Evan Hines's mom, and Evan is a colleague of Jackie's. And Jackie, your
Co-worker.
a co-worker. Okay. Jackie, your work is so joyful. It just fills me with joy to look at it. Each piece is brighter and richer than the next almost. And I'm just wondering if you are filled with joy while you're working on this. Are you just bubbling over with joy as you're painting and filling up your paper with all these beautiful colors and shapes? Does it bring you as much joy as it brings all of us?
Yeah, it brings me a lot of joy and happiness.
Well, that's good. It really shows. Thank you for a wonderful show. Very inspirational.
You're welcome.
Very nice. So I have a question for Pete, I think. So for those of us who maybe can't get out to the gallery during Jackie's show, obviously I know you guys use social media and the video we just saw so that we can see some of the art. Is there a way for any of us who are interested in purchasing work? Do you guys sell online? Like, what does that look like in the virtual landscape?
Yeah, so every day we usually post a new image of the show online on our Instagram account, so you can see the work there. We also have all the pieces in the show on our website. You could find our all the work online on our website, and it has the dimensions, the prices, and it's updated immediately. So if somebody purchases a piece, you see exactly that it's not available.
I was looking at that recently, and there's a lot of for sales. So congratulations, Jackie.
Thank you.
I have a question for Jackie. Are you surprised at how many small pieces were out for the show?
Yeah, I was really surprised at how many small pieces were out for the show.
Me too.
Rebecca mentioned that Tierra del Sol is always also looking for artists to join the team like you, Laura. Can you talk about that a bit in case we have any artists who might be interested once things open up again and resume normal operations?
We have between 6 and 8 artists in our core team for each mentor. And we work individually. We help them with making goals. We do it together, and we go over their process and their artwork, and it's just really pretty great because you can see where it's hard for all artists, I feel like, but to have a mentor that you can chat with and talk about things with is pretty amazing. So we just do that pretty much daily, and we have classes, and we So I've learned a lot in this time too, because I had no idea about Zoom and all that. So I host painting classes and ceramics, and there we even have reading classes like literature and that kind of stuff. But you know, and we have the freedom to make the classes that we want to make, and so we talk with our artists and we decide what it is that we're all interested in, and then we work together on that. And then sometimes they co-host, and sometimes they participate, and it's a really, I love it. I love working with my students. It's amazing.
And do you, on your website, do you post open positions, or is it an ongoing rolling basis?
It's on the Tierra del Sol website. You can go in there and look for employment opportunities, and it will tell you exactly what's expected, and you start a process. And it's a you know, it's a pretty fair amount of evaluation to make sure that it's a good, proper fit. But it's a very rewarding job.
And how many clients does TDS have on a regular basis?
Each mentor has between 6 and 8 core artists, and there's about, I want to think, 8 or 9 mentors. So it's a good grouping. And there's been a lot of learning, and one of the greatest things about being on Zoom and doing things remotely is the independence that it fosters, and getting to know the families behind the artists too.
Do most of the artists spend a bulk of their day with you all?
When we were in the studios, oh yeah, and we did. So we'd have studio days, and we'd have days where we went out into the world, and once a week we would go out and we'd go to museums, we'd go to lunch, we'd do different things, and it was just like we'd take the train into LA and walk around and see a lot of shows, and it's just it's an amazing opportunity for me as well, you know. And so yeah, definitely. But we did all day long. From the program went, it depended on what your hours were, so it was between 10 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock, or some people came in a little bit later and then they would stay till like 6. So it was kind of and I think that this whole new system we've got now will probably open it up for more remote work, you know, so we could have somebody who didn't want to come into the studio, couldn't, or wanted to have half time, so hybrid.
And what do you think you'll go back to, Jackie? Do you have any idea?
She's actually in a transition right now where she's moving and trying to figure out how that remote would work.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that all out.
Can we see your sweatshirt? What does it say?
Dog mom.
I love it. So are you surrounded by art in your home? Do you have your art everywhere?
Yeah, I have my art everywhere.
Can you tell them a little bit about your little area that you created since you've been home to make your art in?
Yeah, it was like a kitchen nook, and then I turned it into my art room.
Perfect lighting. It's great. Big table.
You took over the kitchen table?
No,
Yes.
The whole kitchen. It's really cute. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then there's also 3 walls of windows.
Excellent light, like you said.
Speaking of your art collection and those that are surrounding you, are being part of Tierra del Sol, Jackie, are you able to collect and trade art with the other artists? Do you have a good art collection?
I never done that.
No?
No.
That's a great question. I was wondering the same thing, Andy.
Yeah, you would think, but there's not a lot of trading like in that kind of venue, because they're practicing artists.
Right.
So they're selling and accumulating for shows and things.
That makes sense.
Oh, Jackie, one last question. I just wanted to ask, I love to ask artists what they're interested in reading or watching or listening to. Is there anything that's really like you're excited about right now? A book or a TV show or a film or a band or anything like that?
Like the gardening class that I take.
Oh, cool. And that's on Zoom, yeah?
That is a very excellent answer, because she does go to the gardening class and she does a lot of drawings there. So it's pretty great. And juggling. She's a fabulous juggler.
Yes.
Happy
that's so
Friday.
cool. Next time you'll have to show us. Well, I want to thank you so much, Jackie, and congratulate you on your brilliant show. And thank you to everybody at TDS and the gallery. We appreciate your time and your creativity and your energy. Just love what you all do there, and we can't thank you enough. Reminder to attendees to visit us, as Roman mentioned, at chafee.edu/Wignall. You can eventually see archived episodes from the past, which will include this one. And you can also see upcoming episodes. So we invite you to sign up for anything that might interest you. And then Roman will also put a link to a very short survey. We appreciate it if you would take 2 minutes to complete that. It just helps us to do our job and to be more responsive to all of you in the future. But thanks so much. Congrats, Jackie. Love having you here today. Good to see you all.
Thanks for having us. This has been great.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.